Oh, hello, my friend. I'm just checking out some really helpful tips at the back of our latest book. It's another useful book. I love useful books. They're good stories, but they've got some good ideas with them too. This book is called That's Not the Plan. Have you ever been on an adventure, like a camping adventure? That's what these two go on. They go on a camping adventure, but not everything goes to plan. That's happened before when I've been camping, or at any time. I mean, we're in lockdown at the moment. We weren't planning that, were we? So, let's find out about this book and how useful it is. That's Not the Plan, created by Hannah Davison, Flicka Williams, and Marco Palmieri. Are you nice and comfy? Ready for a story? Oh, good. Let's begin. This is Perry. Perry and his best friend Frankie were all ready for their camping adventure. "Do you need to bring all of that?" asked Perry's dad. "Yes," said Perry, "I might need it." "Okay, let's hit the road," said his dad. Look at all that camping gear. There's so much there. "Whoa, what's happening?" asked Frankie as the car bumped along the road. Ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump. Perry's mum took a long, slow breath and looked at Perry's dad. "Well, that wasn't part of the plan," she said. "It's all right," said Perry's dad. "We'll sort it out." It turned out to be the perfect place to eat their lunch. It wasn't planned, but they made it work, didn't they? When they got to the campsite, the wind whipped up trouble and raindrops stung their cheeks. The instructions were snatched away from Perry's dad as he tried to hang on to the flapping tent. Perry slumped down on a tangle of tent poles. "I give up," he said. "I'm going home." Frankie was cold and wet. Nothing was working. "Camping is stupid," she said, throwing the tent pegs onto the ground. They're not very happy, are they? "Well, this wasn't part of the plan," said Perry's dad, laughing as they took a little break. "This is much trickier than we expected, isn't it?" said Perry's mum. "It does feel frustrating, but we'll figure it out." After a mug of hot chocolate, they came up with a new plan. Then Perry and Frankie felt ready to try again. "Wow! Can you believe what we built?" said Perry. There's one more thing to make it perfect," said Frankie. "Toasted marshmallows." Perry and Frankie went to collect firewood. They ventured deeper and deeper into the forest. "Wait, which way is our camp?" asked Frankie, spinning round. She couldn't see which way they'd come from. There was a cold, sinking feeling in Perry's belly. His head felt dizzy. "Oh no, Frankie, we're lost. What will we do?" "We have to wait for a grown-up to find us," said Frankie. This was not part of the plan. Getting lost is never part of the plan, is it? But that's a really good idea. Waiting where you are until a grown-up finds you. That's a really good idea. Frankie noticed Perry was worried. "Let's play a game," she said. Name something you can see." Perry looked around. "I can see a colourful bird," he said, pointing up to the trees. "Okay, my turn. Tell me something you can smell." Frankie breathed in the smells of the forest. "I smell wood." "Oh, and flowers," she said. "Okay, what about something you can feel?" Perry closed his eyes. "The wind is blowing through my hair. It tickles," he said, giggling. He was starting to feel better. What about something you can hear? Frankie listened. Birds chirped in the trees and the leaves rustled in the breeze. She heard another sound too. Her heart jumped. Someone's calling us, she said. Now we know our way home. She could hear, kids. Around the crackling fire they ate warm, squishy marshmallows, sang songs and laughed until their cheeks hurt. Now this is more like the plan, said Perry. It does look good, doesn't it? But I wonder if something else will go wrong. Later that night, the two tired friends snuggled into their sleeping bags and clicked off their torches. But in the dark, outside their tent, they noticed a terrible, horrible monster, they yelled. Monster! Ah! What's going on? Said Perry's mum. A monster, said Perry, with creepy arms and an angry growl. Coming this way, said Frankie. Feeling scared, huh? Said Perry's mum. They both nodded. Well, that's not the plan, she said. But I think this is a monster mystery we can solve. Come on, worry detectives. Follow me. Being as brave as they could, the worry detectives tiptoed outside. The bright moon beamed down, casting shadows through the trees. A moaning wind made the branches wave and their hair ruffle around their faces. It's not a monster at all, said Frankie. It's the wind and the moon. But I can still hear footsteps, said Perry in a wobbly voice. That's just your dad, said Frankie. The glowing moon and a scatter of stars lit up the blue night sky. It made Perry and Frankie feel so big and at the same time so very small. Back in bed, the two friends were wide awake. The moon had just taught them a cool new trick. Shadow puppetry. Have you tried that before? It's so much fun. This trip did not really go to plan, said Perry. It was full of surprises. I wonder what will happen next. I don't know, said Frankie, but it will be fun finding out. And that's the end of the story. Something's likely to go wrong and not to plan, but they'll figure it out, won't they? And in the back of the book are the really good ideas for grown-ups of how they can help you in the next big moment. That's the name of the organisation or the group that made this book. It's called My Big Moments. And those were some good ideas there of how to cope when things don't go to plan. Oh, something else about this book that's pretty special is that it can be personalised. This book was personalised for Frankie. The story is about Perry, but it can be personalised to somebody else on the journey with him. And in the front here, Dearest Frankie, life is a wild adventure. Sure is. With a friend by your side, a book in your hand, and ideas in your head, you'll always be ready for anything. Love from Mum and Dad. Well, this book is made in New Zealand and in Australia, and you can find out more about the people who made it, why they made it, and how you might get a copy by going to mybigmoments.com. It was a good story, wasn't it? Well, hopefully you can find a book of your own to read at home now. And come back and join me again soon. I love sharing stories with you. Ka kite.